Hello, everybody. It is Sunday, the 5th of November, 2023. Uh, yeah, please remember, hey, I'm a clairvoyant, clairaudient, so everything is for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research, form your own opinions. Uh, Down in the box is more information if you want to get a hold of me for a private reading or and the buy me the coffee nonsense. So, but actually it's cream soda. So, let's just get going. Um, yeah, it's uh I do watch a few other create channels. I usually watch them the day after they do their live broadcasts because some of them go on for hours. So I do click the playback button and adjust it. Now, um, one of the ladies is out in New York, and she goes, she's in reality, she's another psychic. She gets information, but in order to be more acceptable, more palatable to other people, she works under the guise of being a Christian prophet. Yeah. Um, Not that it's bad, but that's how she is able to get her information out to a lot of people. And sometimes when I've watched her live broadcasts, I mean, I started taking notes of what she was getting on super chats. A couple times she was up to almost $1,000. But I know that the platform takes their chunk first, and then you have to set aside 30% of the grand total for taxes. So by the time you get down to it, when you see the chat come in, the creator only gets maybe between 25 and possibly up to 40% for their own pocket, just like the rideshare guys. I mean, when you see the fare, a rideshare driver is only clearing maybe 25%. So that's why I always tip rideshare people in cash. Now to go back to what I was going to say, yeah, she's the lady that has the animal sanctuary, and hers is Arca something. Now, the other day she did mention that something was going to be going on, happening within a 2-week boundary of November 28th. So that makes that date frame between November 14th and December 12th. Now, during that time frame, there's a lot of stuff going on with the British royal family, Charles's birthday and stuff, and it also encompasses the days of Hanukkah, plus Thanksgiving here in the United States. So there's going to be a lot of stuff hitting the fan, and she made a point of talking about mentioning North Dakota and Kansas. For those of you who don't realize it, there's this guy from North Dakota who actually also has his hat in the presidential ring. At all the debates, he just sat back and watches all heck break loose. And then he comes in and makes his comments on the observation of the behavior of other people. But he's also a very shrewd, very smart businessman, just like Don. So I'm getting Don and Dakota. That's who I think will be our ticket. Because Donald knows what the heck he's doing. The guy from North Dakota knows what he's doing. And that would be our winning team. Now, the other ironic thing that this woman from New York, who has the animal sanctuary called the Ark of Something, when she mentioned the dates, that 2-week border on November 28th, I looked at the calendar. You see, November 14th, the evening of the 13th going into the 14th, is a new moon. December 12th, that evening, is a new moon. So for that lunar cycle, I can't remember what the name of the Jewish month it is. I mean, okay, I'm bad. Me bad. But hey, I was never into the technicalities of nonsense. Yeah, that lunar cycle. Be prepared for all heck to be breaking loose. Okay? I mean, today, yeah, if you don't see me in the chat today, it means I'm still hanging out with a friend of mine. We're supposed to go to the range. Okay? And I didn't get back in time. But yeah, I have to stock up on 9s. Another thing that is making the rounds, and people really, really have to stand up and fight, especially in their own school districts. One thing they have to do is make sure that these young men, these boys, who are in total confusion or are so insecure or realize they're going to play the system. You see, if they're not good enough to get a scholarship under the title of being on a boys wrestling team, boys field hockey, boys this, boys that, they then decide, oh, I'm going to be trans, I'm going to be a girl. So then I can look really good on the sports teams and possibly get a college scholarship. So basically, these boys playing on the girls' teams, they're scam artists. Put them in for psychological testing and evaluation and treatment. Don't give them hormones. Give them a shrink. Okay? And especially now that it's come out that this one little boy, confused little boy, or maybe he's scamming the system. When he was playing field hockey, he basically took out all the front teeth of the girl goalie. I keep asking, where in hell are these freaking coaches? I mean, are the college coaches going to start recruiting transvestites to play on their teams so they can score higher? I mean, lead the brackets when it comes to the women's side of the WNCA playoffs? I don't see. I mean, hey, in Chicago, the WNBA team is the Sky. Are they going to start having transvestites? Well, hey, we know that stupid ass that got locked up in Russia. We know that's a transvestite. But how many transvestites are now going who couldn't make it in the NBA are now going to put on a dress to play in the WNBA? That's what's going on. Men who can't cut it, all of a sudden, I'm trans. They turn into a transvestite to make a name for themselves. Yeah, we got to watch out. Little boys, you see a kid saying, oh, I want to be a girl? Don't give him any drugs. Don't take him in for castration. Have him see a counselor. Therapy. Mental therapy. Okay? Something I've noticed that I don't know if anybody else is noticing it, but you know JoJo wears loafers? Shoes he just slides his foot in? Why isn't he wearing wingtips? I mean, hey, when I dated a guy who was a lobbyist, he had like those like lace-up wingtip shoes. He had several pairs of them because that's like standard dress code in Washington. But you know what? Shoelaces, they come untied. People trip. So now JoJo is incapable of wearing shoes where he can't trip. And I'm looking. Do they also have the tread stuff on it so he doesn't trip and fall? Or maybe because it has the tread, That's why he keeps tripping when he goes upstairs. Yeah, when a man has to switch from a lace-up shoe to a loafer, you know he's losing it. He's no longer capable of walking safely by himself. And the other thing that popped up, yeah, we know Turkey is like has stopped diplomatic relations with Israel because yeah, Turkey, they've always have tried to push the 5 time a day stuff on all the residents of Turkey because it's kind of split. But there's enough people in Constantinople, Istanbul, that it might turn into a split country. Okay, you guys who pray 5 times a day sit on that half. Those of us who are Western, we stay on our half. Split down the middle, okay? That's what's going to happen with Turkey. Now we know that now is the time that we realize, and people are starting to wake up, that the Khomeini cultists, they're starting to act up all over the place. You see, they've got Khomeini's cult is like 3 different factions. You've got the Taliban, you've got the Hezbollah, and you've got the Hamas. Well, right now, the Taliban group keeps causing trouble in northeast Pakistan. And they're actually starting to attack military bases. Because these are the Shiite. Shiite want world domination. And they're causing problems all over the place. I mean, they're attacking military bases in Pakistan. They're causing poop to hit in Bangladesh. It's worldwide. Get ready, get something to, because it's going to cross into all the Western countries. I mean, earlier this year, we had all of them go batshite crazy in France. All because a kid was busted and taken out for doing something he was caught doing multiple times. We also have to eliminate, or actually put a standardized dress code in all places of learning. All learning institutions must have the dress code. Everybody must be in Western style dress. I am waiting for the day, and it's not going to be far to wait. It's not going to be long to wait. There is going to be a girl who goes into a high school, and she's in the abaya style of dress. And one of these high schools, there's going to go boom. All because the Donkey School District allowed her to wear her religious dress. Yeah, it's going to be nasty. It's going to make Columbine look like a happy Sunday afternoon. And it would not surprise me if they have this planned for several schools worldwide. On a certain date, there will be these girls who have everything hidden under their flowing abayas. There might be some boys in there with a thobe, wearing a thobe to school. And they will be doing the right thing in the name of Allah, in their warped sense of reality. It's going to be tragic. And that's what it's going to have to take for all these people to wake up. It's going to happen in high schools. That's what they're going to do. And I know that's hard to digest, but that's what I keep seeing and getting. And I look because there's these idiots. I mean, JoJo isn't even in the White House. He's not running the White House. I mean, he takes off at sometime Friday morning? Jill takes him and puts him in isolation so he doesn't make any boo-boos? It's Barry running the government. Barry and Blinken. I mean, if they want to go and protest for like all this pro-Palestinian Hamas crap, I know it's all theater. It's all theatrics. And Barry is sending Cammy poop out on the campaign trail. And she's bragging, "Oh, inflation is down." And I'm like, people don't have the money. You guys, Barry trashed our economy. Actually, the World Health Organization, who wants global control, is in cahoots with Iran for global domination. Go check out Lady C's video from yesterday, November 4th. She called it out. Yeah, the WHO, they want everybody to sign this stupid pact. Basically, it's surrendering our autonomy. Basically, it's turning over everybody's sovereignty to a couple idiots in Switzerland who can say, "Oh, you're not going to behave? You have to go. We'll forcibly make you get something." Boom, boom, boom. Think back to Joseph Mengele. He did tests shooting gasoline into people. Yeah, that's what's going on. People need to stand up. Fight. I'm like, okay, yeah, Barry's supposedly roaming around Chicago now. I'm surprised that some gangbanger didn't do the right thing. I wish they had. And I mean, even in some states, it's already no longer a crime to pull down a flag of Israel. But if you touch a Palestinian flag, oh my God, that's a hate crime. But it has now been, the state of New Hampshire is now making it just proved that it's legal to be an anti-Semite. Yes. Yes. It's now legal in New Hampshire to be an anti-Semite. But if you're anti-pro-Palestinian, you're dead meat. You're dead in the water. I mean, even the former guys from the FBI, from Don's admin, they're admitting that that sleeper cells already have been sneaking into the country since Barry's 8 years. Barry has allowed the sleeper cells to come in. Barry is pro-Iran. We've got, like I say, hey, I mean, even it's like JoJo signed that stupid executive order pertaining to AI. Barry's the one who wrote it. All JoJo does, JoJo's a puppet. He goes in front of the TV and mumbles. I'm surprised it's not a guy in a... Hollywood is like the testing ground for a government agency. It's okay, there may be an old geezer walking around, JoJo may be walking around, but when something has to be in front of a TV camera, it's, I would say, because especially you don't see any movement from like the cheekbones up. It's an actor in a mask. And he goes and he's in front of the TV and he's the one who signs shit. But if that guy starts saying, "Hey, I'm the one who's doing it," he's a goner. You play with the devil, you go to hell. It's that's what's going on. And it's Barry running the show. I mean, and what I think is so ironic right now is the Z guy. Okay, there was one blurb. Right now he was hosting Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the EU. Yeah, the Z guy's screaming because he's knocked off the headlines. And he's using every tactic possible to regain his inches on the papers. It's not going to happen, Z. You had your 15 minutes of fame. Admit defeat, and I guess the WHO and Ursula's telling him, hey, sign a ceasefire with Putin. Okay? Because we need Putin to help take out the United States and all the Jews. Putin's not going to do that. Putin's sitting back and watching and laughing his ass off. Because I know there's a deal. Don and Vlad have already come to an agreement. And the other person, the other royal family, they're finally making their opinions known. Are the Sauds. Yeah. These are guys that I knew as a kid. Yeah, I had interaction with the Saudi royal family. The guys that are now running Saudi Arabia, the Sunni Muslims. I can't tell. I can't go into the mischief we all us kids got into back in the 70s and 80s because it's you just don't. But we got along. We were teenagers. We were kids. We were bopping around London, just hanging out and doing kid stuff. Okay? The Saud family, the Saudi royal family, is calling out the Shiite in Iran. And they have admitted all of this nonsense happening worldwide is because of Ayatollah Khomeini. Yes, the Sunni Muslims in Saudi Arabia and in Egypt and in Jordan respect all religions. I blame it on Bush, the one guy that was standing up against Khomeini, Saddam Hussein. He was actually quashing the Taliban, Hezbollah, and Hamas. And the Bush family took him out. That was the only guy that those guys were afraid of, was Saddam Hussein. Yeah, he was a tyrant, but he had his foot on the necks of those leaders. Yes, now the Saudi family is standing up and saying what's going on and is calling out the Shiite. Hey, idiots! All of you pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas, Hezbollah, and Taliban idiots. Oh, you're such good Muslims. Duh. Part of your religion says you have to do the Hajj at least once in your life. Guess what you need to get before you can fly into Jeddah to do it? A visa. You have to go into a Saudi embassy or consulate from your home country. You think they're going to let you in? Hell no. You support the idiots? You can't do Hajj, which according to certain traditions means you are going to end up in HE double hockey sticks instead of having your paradise with your Vestal virgins. Yeah, this is what happens when you grow up in that culture. You know all the little idiosyncrasies. But yeah, it's the guys that I was a teenager. I saw these kids. Some of them are younger than me. I saw them as little kids. I mean, they were being spoiled little boys. Whatever. I mean, one time it was so funny. I was there at Harrods doing some stuff, and there was one of the little kids from the big top tier of the family there with his bodyguards. And the little boy was wearing the thobe, you know, the long white men's garment that goes down to your ankles. He was there. and they took him in the toy department of Harrods, and everything he pointed at was packed up and taken with. I mean, I kind of stood there for like 5 minutes, and I was watching, and this kid was like, yeah, the kid in the Ultimate Candy Store, toy department of Harrods. Anything that he saw that he wanted, he was getting. Yeah. I mean, okay, we were like, where we had our residence at, it was like over by the Kensington Hilton, so we were kind of like, okay. It was kind of like the neighborhood where the upper echelon people who assisted the diplomats lived. But this kid basically, he probably was staying at like someplace like Clairaudient, and he was up doing a birthday shopping trip and picking out all sorts of toys that he wanted. Now, a fun thing happened while I was doing my digging for today's video. Wallis popped in. And we know that this is a big week for Rachel. Now, I have no control when Wallis decides to pay me a visit. And yeah, I was kind of like, okay, what's going on? She's telling me stuff. And again, she's repeating. It's Henry will be in the same place as David. He must leave her. She is evil. Yes, Eugenie is the conduit. Henry wants to live in Kenya, but he would not be safe. He will end up, he has to go and will be a game warden up in Balmoral. He will have to answer to Andrew. David is now the guardian angel of George and Louis. He's keeping them safe so they don't make the mistakes that he and Henry have made. Charles planned on Henry being in the same situation as David after the wedding. Charles is trying to make sure that Henry's situation is less awful than David's. Rachel must tell the truth this week. She must admit her faults. She will go away guilty. And she needs to follow Garbo's example. Anne and Edward are going to share the regent duties with Will, so William can be a father. Eventually, Anne will take down, call out everything that Rachel has done. And Anne will also put Henry in his place. It was Mike who gave Gary the information. Yeah. And she, the last bit of info that she gave me is that David, Margaret's David, will fulfill the place of the Duke of Kent in helping Charles and William. Well, yeah. Yeah. Wallis gave me some good intel. So let's see what happens. So yeah, it's Sunday. Everybody have a good evening. I'll have videos up for you on Tuesday, the 7th. So, everybody have a good evening, and I'll be talking to you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.